Not hearing the bell. Let's see.
It's so great. I'm President Joyce Montgomery. That's what we're on. We all know Jim Roberts, a Kiwanis guy. It was because his wife Sally had heart surgery this week, and she's at Charlottesville, but so we were going to pass a card around for John to sign for Sally. So we keep in mind that God was father passed away Sunday. The Shetlands are not members now, but we keep in mind so this week, actually, in this class, our students leadership program floor will be highlighting guidelines for the students. We also know Eastern Collins. And they were the so after the for the senior day. Sorry. Just for the best. So Tennessee. And that's why Tennessee. Plus it's on. Yeah. It's not October, so what the heck? All right. Today, talk about some incredible. So I thought it was appropriate to talk about him. To lead the successful campaign for Indians from British rule. He inspired movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. Here are a few of his quotes which still resonate today. Right. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is now time to introduce the guest today. And before I do, I want to point out that I've placed an application form on all your tables. So if I've already had one member ask for one because he knows somebody that's interested. So think about it. Invite somebody to a meeting and let them see what we do. Thank you. Today we have Antonio Hodges, and if the guests would stand up along with their hosts, I'd appreciate it. And Antonio is with the Salvation Army. Host name is Greg Reinberg. And he said he wanted to get the newsletter, so that's pretty good. Tom Bamford, if you'll stand up, please. His hosts are David and Sherry. Actually, he said Sherry more than David, but David's standing up. I don't know. He turned in an application today with a check. How about them apples, huh? And last we have Sam Taylor. And she's with Gold Travel Club. And Chris Ross is the host. She went through the newsletter. So give everyone, I guess, a round of applause. Thank you.
Not at all.
Announcements. On the table,
We've done this in the past, so some of you are familiar with it. We're hooking up with the Lynchburg Club on their fundraiser, and it's also a fundraiser for us. So we get some money for selling these lobsters as well, which will go to our administration budget. So they're $25. Can get as many as you want. Get your neighbors to get one. You can get your church to get one. You can get anybody you can think of. For $25, you get a fresh lobster from Maine. So sign up on the sheet. Michael Franzese is collecting and charging these. Like he's going to be taking care of all this. I'm just announcing. So please feel free to sign up, think about it. The deadline is November the 2nd. So we have to the 2nd to sign up for it. Also, we have book club tonight at Anderson Event, which is Mike Dow's, at 5:30. So if you want to join them, it's 5:30. Officers, my first officers meeting is tomorrow at 10:30. Presbyterian Church. There could be a reason. So I mean, I'm at the Water Authority. Membership and SLP committees next week. I would like to do membership and SLPs. Sherry, would you like to come and talk about the Noise Festival? Thank you, Madam President Joy. I love saying that for the first time. So I want to put a couple of dates on your calendars in case you can join us. One is October 18th. Will take place right in Rita Joyce's workplace area, Melrose Plaza, where Bank of Botetourt is located now, as well as this whole panoply of services in a fabulously developed place, thanks to Goodwill and all their partners. So come see it. If you can, I need your help. October 18th, I have signed us up to have an exhibit table. I'm at that plaza. So between 9 and 2, I could use your help. If you could get in touch with me, I'll take anything you offer. That might just give me a chance to run and get a bite to eat or something. So please let me know if you can help out. On Saturday, the 18th, it's a fall festival that's sponsored by the library. And folks show up for this. We're going to get a chance to talk about a nature park with, over 1,000 people. It's usually a couple of thousand people show up for that. So if you can help, let me know. The other date for your calendar is November 8th. We're teaming up again with Serve and Virginia Dugood and Clean Council. The Environment Committee, I think, has it on their radar to do a cleanup at Villa Heights. So just in the watershed of our nature park, we're going to be cleaning up on that date. I don't have an exact location for it, but we'll keep you posted about where to go at the Villa Heights neighborhood, and that will be between 10 and 12. So lots of opportunities to get out and enjoy our beautiful fall weather and about our community. Thanks. Andrew Books, talk about our fun committee. Thank you, President Joyce. I want to take the opportunity to say that as well. I'm Andre Brooks. I'm chair of the Fun Committee, and it's time to have fun again. We have an event planned for Saturday, October 18th at Explorer Park. You can come anytime in the afternoon. There are hikes, there's biking trails. It's free, and also it's free to go through the building on a self-guided tour and see the museum room. And then we'll gather at Brew Tavern at 5:30 or so for drinks. If you want to come a little bit early and have a second drink, that will be fine. But we'll gather in the bar there at Brew Tavern for drinks about 5:30. And then dinner at 6 upstairs in the dining room. We have that reserved for us. And after we have dinner at 7-ish, 7:30, whatever, when everybody's kind of finished that, we'll go outside around the fire pits and I would love to have s'mores, but we can work that out. We're going to have more cake. So please come. You purchase your own beer and wine at the tavern and your own dinner. There's no cost, but please let us know so that we know how many places to reserve in the dining room. The sign-up sheet is on your table, so please let us know as soon as you can. And look forward to having fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Chow, for having more veterans like my dad. Get a light change.
Now, the other thing we have is the rest of the split. We're looking for volunteers. In fact, West End Center has asked if we could supply some volunteers. So this is a very important group of people for us. So we want to try. It's at Rossi Department. You have a sign-up sheet on your table. It's at Rossi Department. And basically, you have to be there at 7:45. It could be 2 hours, could be 3. It's not the whole day. I wear a costume. But this could be considered a costume. So if you would like to go as a costume, love it. But if not, we would just love to have your body there. So please sign up to help us. Don't ask us to stand up and the West End Center. Thank you. Time for breakbacks. I know we have breakers. Does anybody here? So please come. It costs $2 to brag. All right, Sherry Hartman again. I am teaming up with the inevitable Rose James Cuddle Up Moms organization to collect diapers for needy families. So I know a lot of us have a heart for the moms and the babies and want to make sure that they have enough diapers and wipes. So we are busy collecting diapers and wipes. Some of you have already filled up my porch with boxes of diapers. Thank you so much. It's our goal to have about 5,000 diapers. I think I've reached my goal, but we certainly want more between now and October 17th. Come on by 1223 Stanley Avenue. There's the Porta Crib waiting for the diapers. Thanks. Good afternoon. Kind of a sort of a brag, but not a brag. It's a brag because this will be the first Bob Foundation class that we'll be teaching at the Melrose Plaza for the Bank of Botetourt. So if you're a small business or any business that's just getting started or any business that want to try to grow their business, please join the Bank of Botetourt for a free informative session designed to help business owners lay a strong foundation. You will learn from the banking professionals about the essentials that support starting, running, and businesses with confidence. Light refreshments will be served Tuesday, October 14th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, that's at the Melrose Plaza. Thank you.
President, good afternoon to all of you. This is going to be a $20 brag. No, how many times do I get? I just want to take a minute to thank the Kiwanis Club of Roanoke. This club continues to amaze me. Oh, excuse me. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever have thought that I would have been a past president, much less the president of this club. And just recently, at the introduction of our president, I was awarded the Hickson Award. And I come here just to thank you all. Never ever dreamed. I used to think the Hickson Award was for old men. That's all it was meant for. But I thank you. I don't know who thought of it, but I got a feeling John Montgomery was somewhere in the midst, and Cheryl and Steve McGraw and some others. I got a feeling was somewhere in the midst of doing that. But done so spectacular to earn such great honor. But I'm here today to tell you I'm appreciative of it, and I don't take it for granted. I'll have to step up my game a little bit now. But thank you anyway for such honor. And I'm going to today. I want everybody to see it. If it blinds you out, that's fine. God bless you. Thank you.
How do I follow that? Look at the guy walk. He walks with confidence. You know, I love it. I got to learn to be like JC. So, great day to be Kiwanian, isn't it? Great day to be part of Joyce's board. I am such a proud member, and I'd like to introduce Samantha Taylor. I heard her identified as one of our guests today. Sam has a very unique business, and it's called Go Pink Travel Club. It's specifically geared towards women. Groups of women that go out and travel together. I would really encourage you to talk to Sam today, or get one of her business cards and have coffee with her. I met Sam at a couple of different meetings. I think Josh, I did it again, right? Mr. Powell was there at the Greater Williamson Road Business Association and some chamber functions. And I've been very impressed with her, and I hope you take a chance to meet with her. Also, I would like to thank Michael McAvoy for helping out. I had a question regarding our residential water. So I called Mike, and within, I'd say probably 24 hours, I had a really helpful reply. So let's hear it from Mike McAvoy and the Water Authority. Thank you. In these days of questionable customer service, that did my heart really, really good. So I really appreciate it. And lastly, I placed a few business cards on the table. Some of you might know I launched an organization called Legacy Insight Consortium. And I'm just sharing that simply because if you have an email to send me, please use that email on that business card. Actually, when I joined the club over a year ago, I had my personal email address. And it's easy to send it there. It just might take me to get to it. So please use my new business email address at Legacy Insight Consortium. So that's it. Thank you. Great day to be a Kiwanian.
Thank you. My name's Tim Briggs, writing on Kiwanian Greg Weinberger, for inviting a guest today, Lieutenant Antonio Hodges, and invited me to sit with the lieutenant. I've certainly been impressed. I don't want to tell you too much about Lieutenant Hodges because we're hopeful he might consider a membership application and we'll get a longer introduction here. But he comes to us from Danville. He indicated his advisory board in Danville was made up with many Kiwanians. He's already been tuned in to our efforts to ring the bell for the Salvation Army across the street starting in early December. So it's great to have you here. Thank you, Lieutenant Hodges. Okay. That's right. My wife and my 40th wedding anniversary is on the immediate horizon. And my kids had a party for us over the weekend. It wasn't a huge party, but it was a very nice party. As it turns out, there were some photos present at the party, and a replication of one of those appeared on our newsletter this week. Now, there was only one Kiwanian there. My still good friend, Michael Brockton. And I'm not sure what his purpose was in all this. It might have been to embarrass me a little bit. I wasn't sure it was me. The person in that photo had a lot of hair and it was brown. But anyway, I'm not sure it was to embarrass me or it was to encourage people to put personal information on their newsletter. It helps us all to know each other better if people put an occasional personal note or photo on there. Or if it was to encourage me to donate to the foundation. But in any event, it appeared there. And thank you, Mike. Now, I have made a variety of good decisions during my life, and one of them was to become a member of the Kiwanis Club of Roanoke, the largest and best service organization in the Valley. But by far, the best decision I ever made in my life was to marry Susan. And those of you who have met her or know her know that that's absolutely true. So anyway, here is a contribution to the endowment celebrating our 40th anniversary. I've been up here before. I celebrated my 40th birthday, I think. But in any event, I would encourage all of you, particularly you mature and long-lived Kiwanians, to make this a regular thing. Thank you.
Thank all of you for writing. Join us to know where the card is. Has the neighbor to every table. Does anybody have the card? Two down there. All right, we found the card. Now, I'd like to ask James Matthews to come and introduce our speaker today.
Good afternoon, James Matthews here. I feel like I ought to introduce myself because just watching our speaker walk around the room, I think he knows probably more people in the room here than I do. I'm also really excited about this talk because over the last 6 months or 9 months, his organization has come up in several other people's talks. I know in one talk about food assistance, Hunt for the Hungry came up. And I know in another talk, the abundance or overabundance of deer within city limits and what to do about them came up. And Hunt for the Hungry came up then as well. So when I saw Gary's name and organization on the list of people to contact to come speak, it's like, all right, I want to hear what he has to say. And I think we've got some other people here that are interested in what he has to say. I'll also parenthetically say that I shouldn't say this amongst such august hunting credentials as this. I'm a one-time hunter. About 3 years ago, I went out and bought a hunting rifle and I bagged a 4-pointer on my first out and took him to Schrock's Slaughterhouse up in Gladys and we ate it. So anyway, didn't get one there for you, but I, maybe I'll be out there getting another one this year. I don't know. In any case, Gary Arrington is a resident of Bedford. He's been a game warden. He's been with Hunters for the Hungry for quite a long time now. So give it up for Gary Arrington and Hunters for the Hungry.
Thank you all so much. It's always a blessing to come out and to be able to share and to see some folks that I hadn't seen in a long time. I was a game warden. I was stationed in Roanoke for a little bit. I don't see any familiar faces, so everybody can kind of rest at ease, even though one of my favorite things to do was chase and catch bad guys and girls when I was doing that. I remember one time I was on Tinker Creek and I'd gone over to the theater, Mill Mountain, and got a wig. And I was wearing a wig with a ball cap and an earring, a magnetic earring, and I was fishing with the guys. And at the end of the day, they did not like me at all. One of the things that I love, what I've been able to experience today, is just the fellowship, the great food, talking about community and making things a better place. And I saw a little meme that popped up on Facebook that I'd just like to share. That I think that we should live each and every day of our life like this. And it said, whatever you do today, do it with the enthusiasm of a 4-year-old in a Batman t-shirt. Does that sound like, I could just see that right there. So I think we need to all have that enthusiasm. What I'd like to tell people, hold to your nuts because the wheels are getting ready to come off because I could talk hunting and about this program. I was blessed to join the program 24 years ago. I hated to leave as a game warden. I was next in line for captain, but God wanted me to step out of the boat in faith and to do something to make a difference in somebody's life each day. And we so they could videotape this thing today. God gave me a mic and a lot for people who don't stand still too well, so y'all bear with me. My program was founded back in 1991 by a gentleman named David H. Horn. You will see David's picture on the back of the brochure, and I made sure I put a bit of propaganda out. You should have a brochure, a newsletter, and a distribution sheet. They're scattered around the tables. Sometimes I give a pop quiz when I'm done, but we'll start doing that today. But anyway, David the Society of St. Andrew, and David, while the Society of St. Andrew, we did gleaning for fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. One of the things that the feeding programs will tell them that's the hardest, simple thing they needed was high protein, low fat red meat. It's essential for small children, for brain development, for the elderly, properly bone structures, and I'm free to tell you that David kind of like them just a little bit. All right, let's see if we did I hit the right button? You might want to flip it. All right, you might want to flip me. It's not going. Again, that's just some pictures of David. This right now, we cover the entire state of Virginia with a staff of 3. That's me and my family on the left. Amy Clark is my assistant, and we just hired Jason Schmidt last year. So we cover the entire state. and do all that we do with 3 people. I'm going the wrong way. I'll get back on track. And one of the things that the biggest part, it's a great way to manage deer populations. Hunters donate deer to us. We also from farmers who are having to protect crops from deer damage. It's probably the most. When the rut starts, you're going to be dodging with your cars. So you have them in cities, towns, and municipalities. We get a lot of deer from culling efforts. We're trying to cut down on deer population and deer numbers. You can see that's just some of the families that we meet to them. It's hard to believe the children that receive meat. Almost 50% of the people and children, special groups of people in our society. And you can see there some children at the Lynchburg program, the Lynchburg Area Food Bank, and you can see we do chili, soup, and stew. There's another bowl of stew. And here in Lakeland, you can see some of the feeding programs that we give to. You got the Ram House, Rescue Mission, Feeding Southwest Virginia, the 82nd Airborne Christian Soldiers Mission, Bonsack Baptist Church, Samaritan Inn, and then there's a place in Vinton. And I just spoke with a lady yesterday. Agape Center Roanoke is just getting fired up. So you can see the need is great. And you can see the impact that we have with all the different feeding programs that we provide venison to. You can see our brochures, how they kind of those should have distribution sheets on your table. See that the first year I started, we did 33,938 pounds. David set a goal that year of 15,000 pounds. So you can see we exceeded the goal that year. Now we like to break that down to a quarter serving that we bring on someone's plate. That was 135,793 servings. Last year we did 222,489 servings. And to date, 34 years later, processed and distributed 8.1 million venison. That's 32.6 million servings that have gone to me that struggle with food insecurity. You can kind of see some of those figures in the Roanoke Salem area. Distributed 37,000 meat to 7 different food and distribution programs. You can see how that breaks down to. One of the new things that David saw was there's no need to reinvent the wheel. So real processors who you'll see in that brochure, if you follow it out to the middle, listed by city and county in alphabetical order, and then we've got feeding programs to enroll with us to receive the meat, and we don't turn any feeding program away. So a hunter, a farmer, the city of we have Blacks, Arlington's getting ready to do we just take those deer to a processor. The meat is skinned, cut, wrapped, and frozen. And that meat for the feeding programs at no cost. Now, the industry that donates it is free, and the feeding program is an individual that gets that meat, it doesn't cost them a dime. We all the processing costs associated with every deer that's donated to our program. But the new things that we're doing is a venison stew. We're finding out that a lot of families, they don't even have a refrigerator freezer in their home. So they can't go to a place and get meat and put it in a freezer. They don't have one. So we started to use our little cubes. This is a venison stew. There's carrots, celery, potatoes, and onions, and cubed up venison. This past year, we started doing venison chili. 1,500 quarts of stew last year, and this year so far we're doing upwards of 600 quart pans of chili. We're going to start next month doing nothing but venison. And you can just see our stew project that we did in Bedford. You see all the carrots and stuff. Put in the big cups, and this one was actually 5 of them picked up on it. They did 1,200 quart pans last year. We designed that label that they went those cans of stew down there. This is our chili that we started. And you can kind of see one of the big things that we got wrong is the young people, the future farmers of America, are doing lives, actually collecting deer for us to give to us. The Liberty, Franklin County is getting ready to do their second annual, is getting ready to do their third annual. It's changing to see these young people. They're getting involved because they care about hunger in their community. And that was the Franklin County Deer Drive last year. We do big projects in areas we call like food deserts, Covington, Clifton Forge. I will carry about 2,500 pounds of meat just before Christmas so that they can put it in Christmas baskets for people there at the Salvation Army. We go over to the Presbyterian Church. We drop some off at South Covington United Methodist Church to the Senior Plaza there in Clifton Forge. And we do projects like this all throughout the state. This is at Lake Christian Ministries in Bedford, 82nd Airborne. If you to the 82nd Airborne with Pastor Dave Burgess there, there's a gentleman there. He's Claude Bush. Claude's been battling stage 4 cancer. He served 14 years in the 2nd Airborne. He has a rough time. He spends 4 days a week over at his bags before he takes some for himself. So that just shows you the kind of impact. He was my hero. This is just a really the Pastor miracles that bus that he gets the food on his back, and he picks people up because that bus is mustard seed. So when they do free food Fridays, they start out with one location, maybe 2,000 pounds of food and enrichment. So we usually give them 1,000 pounds of venison at a time. You can just see me on site. This is how see some of the refrigerated some of the these guys and gals have put together a whole fleet, and they've paid for these trailers for us to process the deer, get the processors, and you can see we got a number of refrigerated coolers. We can so I know y'all raise your money. The biggest thing we have is we have a partnership with some civic organizations, individuals, churches provide us dollars. We also get monies from foundations. We write a number of grants. And when we have merchandise, but we like Huntersville with the Lynchburg Hillcats. And we raised over $30,000 just doing a 6-inning raffle at the Hillcats night. We would have been honored to go to the governor's mansion. That governor was tight. That's all I'm going to say. But when the Indians want to make sure they don't go to waste, we go down there and we get those deer and they're processing the meats brought back to a local Richmond feeding program. And that's how we get all of our funding. You can see we're about to do that. Shores. So you can kind of see how we're doing it to try to raise dollars. This year, processing costs they're skyrocketing. Even fewer people are processing. We don't have newer processors we need. Most of my processors, many of them are in their 70s. They're aging out. There's very few young people coming along. Their costs have gone up, and so have ours. Last year, when we were pounds, we were $79,000 over our budget on processing costs, but we were blessed that the money came in and we were able to turn it with the come on, baby, get going. And we can see these are some of the grants that we got. The Vietnam Sludge gave us $5,000, Community Foundation, strong, some of the folks at the Hillcats night, Green Top. I see the folks just gave us $5,000. Returned it in Virginia. At the Salem Fair, the local Ace Hog Runner. And they gave us the proceeds from selling it. So we got a sporting clays event. You can see we're doing some of the events we go to, and kids. A lot of the kids will help us with voting our newsletters. So, so can we get involved? To finish up, if you want to get involved, I tell people if you're blessed and you can make a financial gift, we can certainly use it. If you're a hunter, donate some food. But if you can volunteer, that's great. The biggest thing I tell people is if you're able to help us out, just pray. Pray that God will meet our needs so we can meet the needs of those less fortunate. So thank you all so very much. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir. Well, he's asked how to get to what. What we do is we send them a note with a questionnaire, and we also interview them. I want to know how many people are you feeding a week? Are you feeding your freezer capacity? A lot of that determines how much they can actually get at any given time, and we assign those feeding programs to each processor. Like right now, we don't have a processor in Roanoke since Greater Epson at Overstreet Foods closed down. So we have a processor in Bonnetot, and we have 3 in Bedford. And those feeding programs will go down and pick that meat up, and now Feeding America will go to Holmesburg up in Elliston, and they'll get 2,000 or 3,000 pounds of pop. But it just depends on how much any particular program can hold and how many people are feeding. And we also do special cuts. There are some places that do a meal that people can come off the street. They get steaming, they get ground, so it can be chili and soup and things of that nature. Most of the time we do ground burger, we do roasts and chops. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Hides. When it's up to the processor, they will scan the deer. Somebody would sell them on occasion. We don't have anything to do with that. They donate the deal to us. We want the meat. So that's our main thing. We also track every pound. We're processing venison for $1.63 a pound. And when you compare that with cuts of beef that are running $8.25 a pound on average, we're very cost effective. Yes, sir. I think yes, they are interested. They only got DWI who oversee the wildlife management aspect of it. City and Salem, they did certain. Now I know it's frustrating because a lot of times the budgets aren't what they need, but I know Salem. I just spoke with them last week, as a matter of fact, and they're looking to do a polling, and they're going to start. Matter of fact, they've already started. They just don't advertise it, and they're going to try to run it all the way through February. And I know there's been a contracted for a guy to come in on the contract. We're going to get the deal. I think there's something like $40,000 that's been appropriated, maybe quote on that. We're appropriating some dollars to start working on Roanoke City and the populations there. And we're going to get. Oh yeah, absolutely. They know how to survive, and they make sure they don't go through any pressure. The only thing they're going to do is get my car, and they adapt to that. Yes, sir. All they got to do is, if you look at that brochure, open it up to the middle, find a processor that's closest to you with hunter takes and harvest the. Sure, they truck it in, full address it, take it to that processor, say I'm giving it to Huntsville. They just make sure they get your registration number so it's a legal harvest, and then that's all you do. They will scan, cut, wrap it, and freeze it, and then when they get a quantity, they will call me, and I go down my list of feeding that are assigned to that processor to make sure that everybody gets some. That's how we work. Yes, sir. Well, that has become much more relevant. Yeah. Well, no, you can't do all seasons, but I will tell you that in Bedford County, started their archery on September the 6th. Bedford County, they have actually opened it up to rifle. So we were shooting deer with rifles and shotguns up until October the 3rd. And now we've got a month of bird. The general firearms opens, it's going to last all the way to the end of January. And I hope that next year they're going to run it through the end of March. So you can see that same trend because, and I don't keep taking up time, but we've got poison disease we're having now. That's a whole other deal. But we want to be able to do it as a program to make sure we test everything that's been donated to us. If there's a county where there's been a test positive and it's there, we're testing every in conjunction with DWR before we do the for a feeding program. We just feel that's a good way to be proactive because these people are on us to give them a high quality food source. Any other questions? I will stay. So I know they've got to stay on a schedule. So I will stay around. If you got questions, you come see me. I ain't got nowhere to go till y'all are finished with me. But thank y'all so much.
Right. Very. An interesting program. I know we do it, and that's probably like, I know where I could get a deer. What a blessing for you to be able to give to the needy. Thank you. He has asked for his honorarium to go to Virginia Hunters Who Care.
So
Thank you. Did you get it?
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next week, James Matthews will have Juanita Prada. Is that right? Prada. Behold, be gold. I haven't a clue. So come back and find out what behold, be gold is. See you next week. Thanks. Wait a minute.